So thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. So sometimes it's not that easy to understand why a chief compliance officer maybe feel a little bit guilty for the company to deal with the ethic part, for sure, because we deal with values. And in my understanding as a chief compliance officer, we try to enable our business. And that is why I'm standing here today talking about responsibility and ethics. So it was amazing to listen all to the presentation today, and you see always the opportunities are in a positive spot. And if you would like to talk a little bit more and deeper about the risk, then sometimes you are seen as an objector. But from my compliance perspective, to analyze risk and to anticipate, this is such a kind of a value because both sides, the opportunities and the risk side, they are only expectation for the time being with regard to the intelligent technologies. We do not know what will be the future. And so we need a balanced approach. I like this technology. I see which kind of opportunity, positive accents are given, but I would like to try and to test, but in a secure environment. And that means my plea on the European Commission was as well to have sandboxes, to have trusty models, where we can do and in a very secure environment and test what is possible and not. And I was really astonished because I was last year in America with Facebook colleagues and talking about what is possible and not. And it is amazing what we can try to do, but it is a Pandora box. Talking about black box, but we have to do it, and like a black spot in a mosaic, we have to bring it closer together to come to the single point, what is really important for the specific kind of use case. That is what I learned as well. No technology and no part of all the data you are using and focusing is the same. And so the specific use case is the most important thing. But for sure, AI has to serve the humankind. And so why I'm talking as well about ethics as an advantage for the competitiveness is that I talk with investors, I talk as well with customers, and they plea that they want to know what is going on with their data. And so if we come to the next slide, analog and digital world. And please, this is one thing what is really important for me, it drives me by my heart, it's values are values, no matter what. This is not negotiable. Values are stable in an analog world and a digital world as well. And so freedom, self-determination, transparency, respect, tolerance, and appreciation, which we expect in an analog world, that must count as well for the digital world. There is no difference. And so on Sunday, there was Mother's Day. And so who of you sent a greeting or a big kiss or something like that to your mom? So in a virtual world, only a few. Oh, that's amazing, because I'm a mom and I'm a proud mom. And how should it be in a virtual world? I think about Harry Potter, an envelope is coming with lips and giving me some virtual kisses. This is nothing for me because I'm a heart-driven mom. I would like to have a big hug and really kisses, and that is what my daughter did with a finalized and personalized picture with the letters, I love you. So, the intelligent technologies are transforming the entire industry and your daily life. And so AI will transform values, trust, and power. It's a great technology. On one hand side, it will simplify our lives. And if I'm going deeper into the healthcare area, what now is one of my favorite things, thinking about brain implants and so on, it is amazing what is possible. And it will enable us to have a more a specific kind of quality of life and sustainability. But we saw it already, ethical principles have already been violated. And so I plea for the human in the loop concept. AI does not become uncontrolled and overpowering. So it is up to us to determine how we use AI and how we develop this. And so a framework must be based on our fundamental values. These are our data privacy, security, and the human dignity. And so, digital ethics, and that was fantastic to talk with you guys in America as well. Oh, I recognize you guys. Hello. So, it was fantastic because we had the same understanding. It means where's the benefit for the society and the humans. And so, that is to talk about more in differentiation to the old ethic term, is now to reflect what is in the man machine interconnection and interaction, and on the other hand side, on the liability of assistance systems. And so we decided as well that the human being must always be in the focus, because they are the fundamental human rights, the personal rights, the privacy rights, and the self-determination right and the information rights. And so we plead that AI ethics or digital ethics is an integral part of the development of AI. And later I will show how we transfer it in Deutsche Telekom world. So I'm aware we are in a connected world. AI is global. The application will remain international. But one thing is and will remain in a smaller framework, continental-wise, historical-wise, regional-wise, national-wise. These are the specific values which drive you in your personal life. And that is important. We as Europeans, we have strong values. We are really, really good in what kind of high technological competence we do have. We are market leader in robotics and in machine learning. And so we have the highest privacy awareness. And so we should be very proud and stay a little bit self-independent what we are doing in our region. But, as I learned it as well, it is important to have friends and to have this kind of specific exchanges to know better what for the future is important for the whole globe. So, trustworthy AI, as we plead as well, must be in first place. For global competition, 3 elements from my perspective are vital. Who master the AI fundamentals? Who build the AI key products, and who commits to trusted rules for the development and use of AI? And I see Jens as well from Google. We had as well a talk because we think it is a global approach, and this is important for us in our continent to follow these rules. So, the ethical framework from my perspective, and I understand it, is a competitive advantage. We boost the competitiveness in Europe because trust in the new technologies for our customer is key. And it is important as well for the technique itself for the market success. We create a competitive advantage if we follow our values. Because I see, and that is my personal impression, that customers in the US and China are less alert or insecure about the negative side effects which can come with AI. And so we plead for design by value. You know as well, data is a fuel. Data is a resource of the 21st century. And I do not want to be taken out, my data out of my pocket without being asked or not knowing what kind of purpose is behind. Algorithm data should never be in the hand of few, neither powerful technology companies nor governments. EU data protection must also take a clear stand against political abuse and the violation of personal rights. The transfer of data must be transparent and comprehensively to everyone, so that it's transparent what is going on with your own data. And the data, they have to stay in Europe. So I pitch that the European marketplace for secure and data exchange and processing is a key factor for competitiveness. And so I think about the Data Intelligence Hub, what is one important key for the success factor in Europe from my perspective. So it's time to take over new responsibility. And so we have to find and design a new common vision as Europeans. That means overarching principles which are breathing. I'm totally against an AI law. Because I'm a lawyer, I know there are enough laws around the world, there's regulation enough. We have GDPR, it's perfect, you have to read it better, then you see how the law is breathing and what you can do in practice. And so, I think we have to find out which implication from this strong and powerful technology will be given to the society and which will change our business in which way. And so not everything what should be or could be feasible should be done. So this is important. We have as Europeans to share our investment risk. We have not the digital barons with us. We are not in the Silicon Valley. We are not that kind of entrepreneurs, but it's important for us to come together and to share the investments risk. We need a new and powerful network infrastructure. We need a culture of empowerment where more disruptive innovation made in Europe as key technology is strongly recommended. And there I come back again. I think we need sandboxes for testing in a secure environment, but without that, we won't have new innovation and we will stand in an old modus. And then I come to that, what is Deutsche Telekom doing? We understand when we're thinking about the guidelines we published last year, that it's important to have friends and a community where we can discuss this one. And for sure, we went to America, we went to Israel, we went to academia, to companies, to NGOs for a fruitful conversation, what is needed and what is not needed. Because it came out from ourselves and it is not a marketing aspect for us. This trust is a key part for us, and that is our DNA. And so it was important to go on a broader exchange with the society to understand better what the need is there. The guidelines, they have part of who is responsible for which AI system, which system give us full transparency on what is going on. The customer has to know on what side he is talking to a system and what time to a human being. And we try to maintain full control over our systems. And so, what we did is we are a little bit a crowdsourcing team within Deutsche Telekom, with all nationality over the telecom group, with all the function which are required. And so, because trust is our currency, we designed our profession ethics, where we, as you talked with Dell, how we influence our employees, the data scientists, the programmer, what they should do. So they need a stable DNA. What is the ethical approach from our telecom company? We conduct roadshow all over the globe with the employees, that they understand better what kind of technology is given. When they are going to their working place, what does it mean for them personally? So that they have the whole transparency. What is important for them? We have a layer over our web-based PSA project process, and that is our privacy security process as a governance process, where we have an asset cluster. Every AI-related project must go through this web IT-related process to get a final signal that it is okay and that we have the transparency, what is given and what is not given. And another thing I'm talking about is a certificate. I do not want to have a regulator on my side because they do not understand the complexity of the technology. I think it is my personal liability and as a responsible company to put out what could be a seal or a certificate so that we design and know what is a secure system and where we are responsible and where we are trustworthy. And what we just brought out in the beginning of this year was the Ethics Center. We have here in Berlin a tangible ethics center because it's important for us to make tangible for the society, for our customer, for customer workshop, what are related AI products with regard to ethics. So we have a little seal there. It is used in a therapy for dementia patients with AI related. So this is one of the little things we have. We have an animatronic, so-called Marie. She's able to talk to you and to give mimic. And so this is an area for collaboration as an event area. We have a high-level think tank there where we try to have a very strictly confidential exchange with other partners from us, but to come to the truth how we could solve all the problems we have in front of us. Black boxes, nobody can give us a solution. And there is no AI which controls an AI if there is a bias or something like this. This is something what is magic, but we have to find the patterns to make the mosaic closer and the risk closer. And it is well a showroom and a nucleus for study, because we want to conduct a technology for good project with a specific focus where we think that is a benefit as well for the society. So, what are the future development and risk ahead of us? As I try to introduce you, I love healthcare. I love to neuroscience, to think about it, to read about it, and what is going on with brain implants or body implants. There are negative side effects if you think about the manipulation, what could be given if you see that brain implants does have the full bandage and connectivity, and so there could be a hack. Even if you think just a step before, how is the dimension a brain implant is designed? So there are many things where it could be a manipulation, but from the healthcare side, it's important to have people which have a suffering by Parkinson, for example. But on the other hand side, the question is how we want to deal with this and ensure that not all kinds of disadvantages will arise. And so a social consensus should be given and a value-based approach. And this is, again, my plea for clear guardrails and a kind of standard certification in the healthcare area, where we desperately need this one to ensure that patients are given what is important for them, and that not they are suffering on something else or being in the end a weapon because they are manipulated via hacking. So, people behind AI are the creators, as we discussed, and that is the reason why we do have our profession ethic, why we do our e-learnings, to make them more sensitive as well via Dilemmata workshop. What could be a thing where they may be biased, and how can they find and define which kind of controls option are given, so that they have for themselves a better pattern how they can go via designing. And that goes through the whole procedure, because as you described as Roberto, it is not only one person in the whole procedure who's responsible. There are so many, and it's about the data. Is it fresh, clear data? What does it mean in the end? And so digitization can only happen with and through humans, and not by itself. And please, we must invest in human intelligence, because these new technology can't help us to get space for our spare time for other things and enable us to have a better quality of life. But this means that we have as well to enable to society to understand better via education what this technology means and what does it is. Because often I participate in discussion or debates where I understand, and I'm not a technologist, that nobody knows what they are talking about. And so there is a qualification for the society needed as well. And always the human being must be in focus. And so, please, the key takeaways. I want to have a strong culture of empowerment. We need desperately jump innovation. We have to go forward, and this must be in a secure environment. We cannot be isolated on Euro, but we must be careful with our data, and my plea is to have a European data place, but we need friends and partners, and so it's important to give them a big hug in the direction of China and America. And so, what is important? That we have a kind of a risk approach, that we validate what is going on with the data, which kind of person is a designer, what is the output, and so we have always to educate and train the society for the digital transformation. Otherwise, it won't work. And so Deutsche Telekom stepped further, and we invite everybody to go with us in a deeper dialogue. What does it mean in future for all of us?